Welcome back. So we are going to start deep diving into our data and do this step by step, asking a couple of very important questions and then dive deeper and deeper and looking at the data from different angles for each and every lecture. In this lecture specifically, we are going to be asking the questions, how much traffic am I getting to my website and how do I make sure that I get more traffic? So in order to answer that question, we are going to move over to reports. Go down into acquisition, because remember, acquisition means to acquire how we got our traffic. So we're going to click there and acquisition overview. Now, the first thing we want to make sure is that we have our dates set properly. Now, right now, we can see a pretty nice chart going day by day like this. However, if we change our days and we do the last 12 months and hit apply, it's going to be very hard to sort of see any proper patterns in here because there are so many dates in between. However, it is very interesting to know what happened during this spike. Those sort of patterns are interesting, but we are going to be able to find even more patterns by using a date range like 28 or 30 days. I'm going to go with 28. So starting from the beginning, again, we have users. Those are all of the users, including returning, and then we have new users. And new users are the ones who are appearing on your website for the very first time. What we are going to be looking for, and that goes for all of our data analyzing, is going to be patterns. So I want to know how much new traffic am I getting and how do I get more of that traffic. So I'm going to filter out users and instead go to new users. So looking at one day on average, we can see that the Google Merchandise Store is getting about 1,800 to, well, let's say about 2,000 visitors, new visitors per day. And that is pretty amazing. So what we're looking for here, what are the patterns? When do we have a lot of users coming in and when do we have a drop of users? Because understanding that means that we can time those patterns and use them to our advantage. So for example, if I look at the drops down here, we can see that this drop is on a Sunday. Here's another big drop. It's on a Saturday. Here's another drop, Saturday and Sunday. And here's another drop, Saturday and here Sunday. And this is probably going to be, well, this is Wednesday, but there's more data out here. So the pattern we're seeing here is that Saturday and Sundays always have a traffic drop. What does that mean? Well, that means that Saturday and Sundays are days where you should never be releasing any material to your audience because that's when they are the least active. So if you release a blog post, for example, through an email campaign to your users on a Saturday or Sunday, they might not actually watch their email until, let's say, Monday. And by Monday, it's going to be buried by all other emails and the chances of them looking at it and clicking on your link in there is so much lower. So we are looking to time the peak. So we can see here that Friday seems to be a nice peak. And here we have Tuesday. Here we have Friday again. Here we have Monday, Wednesday, and here's Tuesday, and here's another Monday. So pretty much what we're seeing, any weekday is going to be your best bet when it comes to releasing new content or doing a product release or just getting in contact with the audience in this case. So what we have done here is that we've asked the question, how much traffic are we getting? And we can see how many we're getting in total. And this is per 28 days. How many new users that we're getting per 28 days. And we can see how many we're getting per day. And then we've looked at the patterns and see when do we get a huge spike and when do we get a drop and what do we do with that information? Well, we time it. We make sure we only contact those users when we see a pattern of a spike and we leave them alone when we see a drop. So now that we have a good understanding of how much traffic we're getting and a plan for getting more of it, remember, if you check out your ebook, there's going to be a bunch of analytics intelligence questions that you can just copy paste, add them in here and get so much more additional information. So now that we've answered the most important questions for our traffic, the next question is what location is our high quality traffic coming from and what location is our low quality traffic coming from and what should we do with that information? That is in the next lecture. See you there.